All right. Good day, everybody. It is Wednesday, June the 15th, 2022. A lot to talk about today. Some breaking news. I can't even make this stuff up. It's pretty interesting. Today's headline hits is brought to you by that Patriot-owned business out there, that one that everybody's talking about. 97% of what they sell is made right here in America. You can shop online, have it shipped right to your house. If you like that, if you're interested in that, check it out. lwnfliptheswitch.com. You can sign up over there, and we will be in contact with you with another patriot, like-minded person just like you. So let's hit the headlines. Like I said, a lot to cover this morning. First one that really caught my attention is China. China pursuing substantial expansion of nuclear arson. Now, what are they talking about? Report published by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute on Monday said that China is pursuing a substantial expansion of its nuclear arsenal, including the development of new delivery systems and the construction of hundreds of additional missile silos. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody should go crawl under their desk. I'm just putting that information out there, and China's not the only one doing it. Several additional nuclear warheads are thought to have been assigned to operational forces in 2021 following the delivery of a new mobile launchers and a submarine. The SIPRI said that China's nuclear development. Now, China's not the only one. There are actually, if you did not know this, there are actually 9 states. What do they call a state? What is their definition of a state? Well, there are 9 different countries around the world that have nuclear capability. China is not the only one that is upgrading their system. Of course, it doesn't say anything here in this article in Breitbart about the United States upgrading any of our nuclear systems or nuclear capabilities, but I can guarantee you if the rest of the world is doing it, so is the United States. I just thought I would bring that to your attention this morning because it is definitely things seem to be kind of ramping up all around the world. Countries and militaries seem to be posturing. This is a posturing thing where they do this parade down through Main Street in Shanghai, or one of the big Chinese towns, the capital of China, and they show their muscles, so to speak. They show these ballistic missiles and all these other missiles that have nuclear capability. Now, China has now developed a missile that will go over 12,000 kilometers. Now, I don't know what 12,000 kilometers is because I don't know the matrix system. I would imagine that's quite a distance for that arsenal. So, anyway, thought I would bring that to your attention. Here's something else that's going on in the news: Biden crisis. Full House Democrat caucus meeting to discuss economic messaging. What's that all about? Well, the full Democratic House caucus will reportedly meet on Thursday to discuss the economic messaging following inflation hitting a 41-year high and gas prices continually rising mere months ahead of just the midterm elections. Meeting is scheduled on Thursday, June 16th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will include 3 special guests. So the Democrats are rallying the troops. They are rallying the troops because they know that they are in some serious trouble. Now, I just reported yesterday on Tuesday that the Department of Labor announced its producer price index for final demand rose 0.8% in May, prepared with a month earlier that Breitbart News reported that it rose prices up or are up 10.8%. That is like the second month in a row, consistent month after month of high prices. Now, Rick Scott, a Republican from Florida, said, quote, Joe Biden's self-made inflation crisis is destroying the nation. He is failing hardworking Americans every single day. The worst part is he has no real plan to fix the inflation, end quote. That is the truth. This administration has no plan. They think by E15, that's going to ease the pain at the gas pump, which is a ridiculous plan. Ridiculous plan. They continue the open border policies, which is another ridiculous plan. It's not helping inflation. It's not helping the American people. LW here telling you this administration, time and time again, is absolutely America last. All right, let's talk about some of the best liberals in America, like Geraldo Rivera. Oh, yes, you guys remember him. He got his nose broke back in the 80s with a chair across the face. Well, that may happen again here real soon. Who knows? Crazy Trump turned the knife in America's back. Let's hear a little bit of the back and forth with him and old Greg on the 5. So, Fox News host Geraldo Rivera said Tuesday on FNC's The 5 that former President Donald Trump turned the knife in America's back on J6 of 2021 by attempting to interrupt the peaceful transition of power. Rivera said, I find it ironic that Greg, for instance, prefers Trump to Biden. When you look at President Trump in the light on this J6 hearings, when you hear how absolutely crazy he became after the election and how close he came to impeding and destroying the peaceful transition of power for the first time in American history. Here's some of the back and forth. He continued by saying that Biden is an old fellow who has some fragility and communication problems. I don't know if he's not as sharp as he always was, but if the alternative is his predecessor, he will have to recognize and remember, I love Donald Trump. And then Greg says, oh, please. And Rivera came back with, I felt very close to him. I've known him for 40 years. And Greg said, then you turned the knife. And Rivera responded with, he did. He turned the knife in America's back. It was him that turned the knife. And it became clear now that the Republicans are in a kind of denial. I'm not going to read any more of the back and forth, but Rivera ended with this. He unleashed, he incited, and he absolutely was the driving force for what was one of the most traumatic events in American democracy. End quote from Rivera. I just don't know what to say about this guy. I was a fan in the 80s, but I lost all hope and faith in Rivera a long time ago. This guy is as far left as you could possibly get, and all he does is spin and spew propaganda for the left. Anybody who still likes this guy, boy, I feel sorry for you. This was not the most traumatic thing that's ever happened in American history and to American democracy. Matter of fact, you guys keep getting that word wrong, and I keep correcting you over and over and over again. America was founded on a republic, not a democracy. All right, next headline. Let's talk about some more insanity when it comes to our politicians, and if you want to call it the first family. I don't consider them my first family, but that's what we have for right now. So listen to this. Hunter says Joe Biden is politically influenced by, quote, anything that I want, end quote. Hunter Biden reportedly suggested in December of 2018 that President Joe Biden is politically influenced by anything that I want. He'll talk about anything that I want him to, that he believes in, Hunter said, about his father's political platform in a 77-minute recording that the Washington Examiner obtained from Hunter's laptop from hell. The recording was taped 5 months before Joe Biden launched his presidential bid. Hunter also said that Joe Biden will amend his political platform and, quote, work to make his desires come true because my daddy respects me more than he respects anyone in the world. If I say it's important to me, then he will work a way in which to make it a part of his platform. My dad respects me more than he respects anyone in the world. And I know that to be certain. So it's going to be about whether it affects his policies. The audio from Hunter was depicts. Now, you can't make this stuff up. This guy right here, this family is corrupt to the core. Hunter then described that Joe Biden's belief that Hunter is a god. Hunter also said his late brother also thought Hunter was a god. Now, here's another headline that I want to share that ties in with this. Ties in with Hunter making the statement, "My dad thinks I'm a god." Hunter Biden said his father, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, thinks I'm a god, according to the report. Speaking about fears of being disliked, Hunter said he does not have any fear of being disliked because President Joe Biden thinks I'm a god, according to the 2018 audio obtained by the Washington Examiner from Biden's laptop from hell. All those fears you think that I have of people not liking me or that I don't love myself, I don't fear that. You know why I don't fear that? Because the man I most admire in the world, that God to me thinks I'm a god, end quote from Hunter Biden. Joe Biden regularly worships at the Catholic Church where Hunter does not identify himself as. Nevertheless, Joe Biden has continued to praise his corrupt son. During a segment on CBS's The Late Show, Joe Biden called Hunter the smartest man I know, which includes former President Barack Obama and former President Donald Trump. He is the smartest man I know, end quote from Biden. I can't say it enough times. That just sounds funny. He's the smartest man I know. We have confidence in our son, and I am not concerned about any accusations made against him. It used to get to me. I think it's just kind of a foul play. End quote from Joe Biden himself, folks. That's how corrupt these people are. This is how people think. This guy right here, the crack pipe lover, the guy who now photos have surfaced of him naked, holding a firearm that he illegally obtained. This is how they think. They think they're above the law. They think they can get away with anything. They think that they are gods. All right, here we go. Next headline. Crypto winter. Is it coming? Question mark. Coinbase lays off 18% of their workforce and warns of recession. All right, I put stuff out last night. I put a warning to America out last night. A lot of people talking about it. Andy will be talking about it here real soon on LWN. Economic Ninja talking about it. So many people out there talking about a possible recession, which a lot of people think we're going to go into a depression. Well, here you go. Crypto is tied to the stock market. Stock market took a huge hit late last week and early this week. Crypto trading platform Coinbase will cut 18% of its staff, with CEO Brian Armstrong warning of, quote, a worldwide recession and the possibility of a crypto winter. CNBC reports that Coinbase is laying off close to a fifth of its entire workforce following a collapse in stock and crypto prices. The exchange plans to cut 18% of its full-time positions, according to an email sent to employees on Tuesday. The company has around 5,000 full-time workers, which will be reduced to approximately 1,100 following the layoffs. Well, that number right there just don't make sense to me. It sounds like it's a lot more than a fifth of its employee base. Now, it goes on to say that we could see a 10-year recession after a 10-year economic boom. I don't know. Is this a sign? Is this a warning? Are people out there paying attention? Are you paying attention to what's going on with the stock market, with fuel cost, with Coinbase, all this stuff going on? Now, they go on to say in this article that they feel like they overhired, okay, as Coinbase, as crypto was really skyrocketing. They were hiring a lot of people to keep up with the demand. Did they overhire? I believe they probably did. Now, I've been in booms myself, lots of booms, several booms. And yes, as it's starting to climb and it's getting ready to peak, you are hiring a lot of people. You continue to hire a lot of people. And then after it levels off, you may, in fact, have overhired. That's how business works. Is this the possibility for Coinbase, for Bitcoin? I don't know. Let me read you some more numbers. Coinbase shares are down 79% this year and 85% from an all time high. Bitcoin also dropped nearly 22,000 and lost 53% of its value this year. Just a heads up, folks. You read between the lines. All right. Here is the breaking news. You're hearing it live right here at LWN. Breaking news. Thousands of Californians are fleeing to Mexico. No, that is true. We have a southern border crisis. There are millions of illegals crossing our border, but there are hundreds of thousands of Californians crossing the border to go the other direction. They're fleeing California to go to Mexico in search of more affordable living. What is this article about? You can read more in Breitbart News if you choose to. Housing prices and rampant inflation under the leadership of President Joe Rodham, or Robin, however you pronounce his middle name, Biden, and Governor Gavin Newsom are driving thousands of Californians to search for more affordable living in Mexico. I would say at least half are coming down from California. One of the Baja 123 real estate investment groups told in our CNBC, suddenly the cost and taxes and crime rates, the policies, all the things that people are unhappy with in California are coming down to Mexico. They are fleeing California by not just, I'm not talking about just 1,000 people. I'm not talking about just 2,000 people, maybe 2,500. No, that's not the number. Roughly 200,000 people commute between California and Mexico every day because, quote, many of them work in California and live just below the border in Baja California due to its proximity. According to the report, which called the Phantom, the California Exodus. That's what they call it. That's what they're calling it. Quote, the California Exodus. It's a lot of people commuting who actually live in Mexico, who actually work in the States. So it's like thousands and thousands of people just crossing daily. It's a lot of people, said Tony Smith, a coach for the professional trainer at the Southwestern Community College who works in San Diego, but he lives in Tijuana. Biden's high housing costs, which reportedly average around, listen to this, the average cost of a California home right now is $800,000 in the state. Remote work is giving Californians the opportunity to seek out cheaper places to live in Mexico while reamping the financial benefits of working in the United States. So let me ask you this question. I know even myself in the past have had a problem with people coming to this country to work making good money, and then turning around, and I've had them work for me, turning around and sending that money back home to another country, including Mexico, including Venezuela, Nicar- uh, all the southern countries below Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, lots of them down there. I've had them work for me, and then they send that money home, which means that money is taken out of America and spent in those countries. How do you feel about American citizens now having to do the same thing? They're working in California, they get their paychecks, but yet they live in Mexico, which means they're shopping in Mexico. All that money that they're making in California is now being spent in Mexico. How do you feel about that? Well, I don't know. Maybe someday the rest of us might have to join them with as crazy as America is getting. Mexico is going to be emptied out and it's going to be filled up with American citizens. All right, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us. God bless. We'll catch you on the next one.